I've gone through grief a couple of times, and years ago I lost my mom, and there's so many things that people did during that period, and even when I lost my dad 18 years ago, that really stood out to me and caught my attention. I was like, whew, that was really nice. That was really kind, and I just thought to share that as well, because it's important to see that there are ways to actually help people that are going through grief. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tolokwe Adese. I'm a YouTuber based in Canada, and I film about faith, lifestyle, food, and amazing stuff. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, I see you. Thank you for stopping by as well. If you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and just hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell as well, so that you get notified when I upload videos on here. Follow me on my Instagram as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. So I post a lot more actually on Instagram than on YouTube. And if you guys have seen my previous video, 5 stages of going through grief, this is kind of like a continuation of that series, going through grief. If you've not seen it, I'll link it somewhere in the description box. Please go ahead and watch that video. It's gonna bless you. This is the second part to going through grief series, and this is gonna be how to help someone going through grief. First of all, I've gone through grief a couple of times, and last 2 years ago, I lost my mom. And there's so many things that people did during that period, and even when I lost my dad 18 years ago, that really stood out to me and caught my attention. I was like, whew, that was really nice. That was really kind, and I just thought to share that as well, because it's important to see that there are ways to actually help people that are going through grief. Because a lot of times we just don't know what to say, we don't know how to help them, and sometimes we tend to fall into error in trying to help them, right? But then I noticed a couple of things that people had done, and I was just like, oh wow, this is very thoughtful, this is very kind, this made me feel good, this really helped how I was feeling at that period of time. I'm like, let me share this on my channel. If you have more lists from the list I'll be mentioning here, please leave it in the comment section. Let's learn more from each other on how to help people when they're going through grief. Number 1 is your presence. And I wrote here, I said, it's amazing to see that people are there for you, not only in times of celebration, but also in times of grieving. Your presence is very appreciated. Oh my goodness, there were so many people at my place at that time. The warmth of people's presence did it for me that season. And it was just nice to know that I was loved, that I was cared for by these people. Lots of people that I didn't even expect came over at different times. My house was always busy during that period because people were coming left, right, and center just to be of help and just to be there with me during that season. And number 2 would be ask how you can be of help. So this part was very surprising to me. I wrote here, actually, you'll be surprised that in your quest to help someone going through grief, you might actually not be helping them. So ask and get them to think of ways you can make life easier for them. So this one is very important, because when going through grief, like I said in my previous video, there are different stages. And so that person might just be in an anger stage or in a depression stage, and they don't want people around, for example. So how I said number 1 was, your presence. But someone can be in a situation where they're just at that season or at that particular day or time, they just want to be alone. So it's okay to actually ask them, like, okay, so what do you need at this point? How can I be of help? You'll be surprised that it could be the randomest thing, like, okay, I just want the ice cream. Or it could just be like, oh, I just want a hug, or I just want to vent, or I just want to sleep, and then you can actually be able to meet them at the point of their need when you ask. And when I mean ask, don't ask too many questions like, oh, how do I help you? And just start listing a bunch of questions. No, it's just a simple, quick question. How do you want me to help? What can I do to make your day better? It's just very nice to find out how people would like to be helped, such that you're not doing something that you think is actually helping them, but in reality, you're not actually helping. You're probably making them feel worse, right? So number 3 is going to be your prayers. It goes a long way for people and encourages them that, they're not alone. It's their spirit up. I cannot overemphasize prayers, the importance of prayers. It's important to pray for these people. Let them know that you're praying for them, and when you say you're actually praying for them, please pray for them. Don't just say it. Pray for them, lift them up in prayers, encourage them. This is a very good season to do that as well, because God is the best person to actually know exactly how they're feeling and know how to help them. So why not just pray for them and lift them up in prayers, pray for their family members, pray for, just everything about them at the moment, right? Your gifts. So that's number 4 now, not your gifts. And I put flowers and notes expressing your love and care for the person. Money goes a long way also because the person has to plan a funeral and usually spends a lot of money, especially if they have to travel across countries for the funeral. So this part, like gifts, is very, very important. I received nothing less than 20 flowers, and it was just like back to back to back to back, and I was just like, it brightened my day. Oh my goodness, like I was just like, I didn't even realize how like there were different ways to pack up flowers. There were like over 20 different kind of flowers in my apartment that season, and it was just so beautiful. It brightened my day. I got lots of gifts, handwritten notes, cards, just saying, you're in my thoughts, you're in my prayers, chocolates, candy. My fridge was full. Some people brought cooked food, some people brought groceries, fruits, people gave money. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful to see the hearts. Like people are so kind. It was just so nice to see. And that, because death can also be very sudden, and people plan for vacations, plan for weddings, and plan for other things, but people don't necessarily plan for the death of a loved one. Money is also something that would be very nice to give to someone who is going through grief because they lost a loved one and they have to spend a lot of money on funeral, to fly down. Like in my case, I'm in Canada and I had to fly down to Nigeria for my mom's funeral. Money was a big thing for me, and thank God for the people that he surrounded me with, and even people that I was not really close to and all that. People were just sending me money my way, and it came in handy because I had a lot of expenses. I had to cover out flight tickets, I had to cover out a lot of things, money for the funeral and other things as well. That goes a long way. Number 5 would be offering to help out around the house, attending to guests, do dishes, help them run errands towards the funeral or while they're gone for the funeral. This one is very beautiful because I got this a lot. Like I had this friend of mine, like she's very fresh, fancy and whatnot. She came to my house and she was sweeping, and everybody were like, that's interesting, this is new. And she's like, you know what, like I know that this is I don't mind doing this. And it was just so beautiful to see, right? So ask around, like, what do you need help with? Like a lot of times people get to just stop work and they're finding it hard to do some errands at that point because they're just overwhelmed, they're just exhausted. So what errands do you want to run? Let me help you with that. That goes a long way because it's like you're taking an extra burden off their shoulder, and it just makes them feel better. It makes them feel like, okay, that's one less thing to worry about. And even while they're gone as well, there's some things you could pick up for them to help them sort out while they're gone. By all means, help them out. Number 6 is frequent calls or texts to encourage them and let them know you're thinking about them, especially after the funeral when the real grief starts. This one is like, I won't call this all-time favorite, but I'll say this is one of my top 3 on my list because it meant a lot to me. Like, how like when people finally do the funeral, that's when everything really gets quiet and people are like, oh my goodness, like where do I start? Everyone's gone back to their normal life, and you just they're left to deal with grief and deal with the absence of this person. For me, it was my mom. I was very, 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 very close to my mom. We spoke almost every day. So it's like going to like a new normal that I wasn't used to. And it really, really, really hurts. So sometimes when I just randomly just open my phone and I see a message from someone just saying, just thinking about you today, I'm just praying for you today, or just checking in, like giving a call and just like, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? That meant a lot because it almost felt like, okay, someone remembers that this is how I'm feeling or this is what I'm going through. And it was just very nice and thoughtful. So that's very beautiful. Number 7, listen actively. This part is very important. Like, I'm a chatty person, but I think I was way more chatty. Or I was chattier, I don't know the English. But anyways, when I was going through grief, I just wanted to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I guess it was a way of me just letting out. Even I know someone that was very quiet, and when they were going through grief, they were very chatty. So I think I realized that, okay, I think it's a thing. So patiently listen to what they're saying and actively listen as well. I wrote here, I said the most important thing you can do is to simply listen to them. Let them talk about their feelings and their emotions, and don't interrupt or try to change the subject. Beautifully said, and I'll just leave it there like that. Number A, to be patient. Grieving is a process, and it takes time. Be patient with them and let them move through their emotions at their own pace. So this part really was very beautiful. I had very good, amazing friends of mine that they weren't hard on me or made me feel like at this point you're still grieving or something. They're very kind. They would check in from time to time because they knew that it was going to take time. God knows how long it took for me to actually get to a place where I was very comfortable and I was able to I have good days and bad days. For the most part, I don't have that much. I don't have a lot of bad days anymore, basically. So, but they were just patient with me. They just understood, okay, this is not the time for this, and just let me be and stuff. And it was just really nice. I really, really, really appreciate them, both friends and family as well. I'm talking a lot about friends because I was away from family. So I was in a different province entirely from where my sister and my family members were. I was just dealing with church members, family, friends. Shout out to my PA folks. All right, so I'm just going to list the other ones and then just wrap it up from here. Showing compassion. I said show that you care and that you understand what they're going through. Offer words of comfort and empathy. When they're talking, especially when they're talking or they're crying or something, you don't have to really say anything, but just show that you care. Give them a hug, rub their back. There are different things really depending on the person. So I'm trying not to put you guys in a box or say this is how it's supposed to be. But you would know the person, and the person will change because you're not in the state that they usually are in. Just find out what works for them and just help them. Be compassionate, be loving, be caring, intentionally. Let them see that you're there, you care. Respect their needs. Everyone grieves differently. Respect their needs and don't pressure them to do things they're not ready to do. It's something that really was so beautiful. I had friends that I would tell that, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for work. And they're like, oh, that's fine. You don't have to go to work yet. They were just very patient with me, very kind and very understanding as well, because they understood that everybody had different stages and they were just there to support me and whatnot during that season. There were people that actually suggested that I reached out to professionals to help me through my grieving process. And this is the last one. Encourage professional help. This one was amazing because there's the thing of pray about it, and there's nothing wrong with praying is the best way. I felt better for me was praying. I just prayed, and it was prayers that were not probably the typical prayers. It was just just being honest and vulnerable with God and saying, God, I'm just exhausted, just asking him for strength. And it was just so amazing how it was instantly I just felt better. And sometimes it took maybe hours, but I just noticed that my mood is different. I'm brighter, I'm more vibrant, and it's because I pray. But then there's also a place of also seeking help, because you know how we like to go to hospital if there's something wrong, but we don't want to talk about mental health or grieving process and seek help, medical help when it comes to professional help when it comes to that. So I have people that really just advise me that you should actually look into that, and I did. And I'll be talking about that in another video, just talking about personal experience at that point. Yeah, that was really nice and that was really helpful. Altogether, long and short, you can't really explain how the person feels and you can't really put yourself in their shoes, but as much as possible, try to find out how they want to be helped, help them, pray for them, encourage them, and don't feel the pressure to do all these things I listed, of course, because they have people around them, so people would pick and choose, and it's beautiful that they will always have all that they need in that season. But as much as possible, just if you pay attention to the little things that I've shared here, I'm sure they'll be able to help you help someone going through grief and just help them get through that process. To be short, it could be long, but it's a very sensitive period in someone's life, and it's important that they have great, amazing support system. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned a thing or two, please leave it in the comment section. If you have any other thing that I didn't mention that you want to also share on how people were able to help you when you were going through grief, or how one person said something or did something that really made your day, please leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, guys, bye.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see your as your head